presented to conduct this session. Every day is a new opportunity to become a better version of yourself. So, make use of the opportunity and your valuable time and effective leaders and serve the society. Thank you.
Thank you, Father. Now I invite Dr. P. Vel Murugan, Associate Professor of our college, to introduce the resource person.
Good evening to one and all. I am very happy to introduce our resource person, Rev.Dr.Arnald Mahesh. He is serving as the parish priest of St.Xavier's Church, Xavier Palayam, Dindigul. Father has worked as a principal, librarian, and dean of studies, Jnanodaya Salesian College of Philosophy and Religion, Yerkot. He is a visiting professor of philosophy in Christu Jodi Philosophy College, Bangalore, St. Paul's Seminary, Trichy, and Don Bosco College of Philosophy, Kerala. Father has acted as an editor-in-chief of Jnanodaya Journal of Philosophy and Religion. He wrote and published a book entitled The Ethics of Human Enhancement. He has published more than 20 research articles in various reputed national and international journals. Father has presented 6 quality research papers in national and international conferences and seminars. He has acted as a president and secretary in SSJY Airport. He is an motivational speaker and offering seminars, conferences in colleges. He did his doctorate program in Catholic University, Leuven, Belgium. We are very fortunate enough to have this great administrator in our midst to handle the session, be an effective leader. Now I hand over the session to Father Arnold Mahesh. Please, Father.
So, good evening, everyone. And I'm very happy to be part of this wonderful webinar on the given topic, Be an Effective Leader. First of all, I thank the organizers for giving me this opportunity to share my reflections on the given theme, Be an Effective Leader. And the coming 1 hour, I hope to enrich you with my reflections and thoughts on the given theme. Leader. Why we need to become leaders, or what is the need of leadership? That is the first question. To answer this, I like to cite one of the renowned or famous ordinary sayings that we used to quote in our conversations, that too many cooks spoil the soup. So there can be only one cook while we prepare a dish or anything whatsoever. Others can maybe buy vegetables or cut vegetables and help us in the different process of making one singular dish. But if everybody is going to act as a cook, then there will be a catastrophe. We will not have a delicious meal or a soup, etc. So there can be only one, cook to prepare a dish. In the same way, in a team or in a group or in an institute, there can be only one leader. Therefore, I wish to say there is a need for leadership as long as there is more than one person in an organization or in a team or in a group. I like to begin my presentation with a famous quote of John C. Maxwell, one of the renowned thinkers on leadership. He says, a leader is one who knows the way, shows the way, and goes the way. So if you and I are leaders of a particular team or a group, we need to, first of all, know the way that we are going to take to reach a particular destination or a target. Secondly, we need to show that way to our team members or the group members. And thirdly, we need to go the way We need to go along with the team members or the group members. Today, one of the important, concepts that is very much supported and underlined or underscored is the leadership of accompaniment. We not only know and show the way, but we accompany our teammates or our group members. Then only we will be able to enjoy our leadership, as well as we can produce the end product or end target that we are trying to achieve. In this connection, I like to make two important distinctions. The first distinction is the distinction between a boss and a leader. And the second distinction is the distinction between a manager and a leader. Let us take the first distinction, that is a boss and a leader. A boss says, go, but a leader says, let's go. So once again here, the leader exercises the art of accompaniment with the team members or the group members. Let's go to the next distinction, that is manager versus leader. The manager is not necessarily a leader. The manager is concerned with the smooth day-to-day running of the institute or a factory or a school or a restaurant, etc. But the leader, on the other hand, is one who brings about change or transformation in the institute or a factory or a college or a school, etc. Now, a leader can be a manager, but a manager need not necessarily be a leader. A leader can have some of the qualities of a manager and a boss, but a leader cannot be exclusively a manager or a boss. He stands above these two characters, namely manager and boss. So a leader is someone who is above a manager or above a boss. Now, all of us, the speaker as well as all those who are participating in this webinar, we are belonging to one category or other of different types of leadership. I have listed 4 types of leadership, or 4 types of leaders, I would say. The first category is born leaders. As we talk about born singers or born dancers, etc., some people have this innate quality of being a leader. They need not strain or they need not make effort to be a leader or demonstrate their leadership. It comes automatically to them. They can easily organize a picnic or pull people together of different temperaments. They can organize a meeting or throw a party, etc., because it is very much innate in them. So they are called as born leaders. Secondly, elected leaders. These leaders need not be born leaders, but a group of people elect them, considering them as good leaders to govern them or lead them. So they are called as elected leaders, be it from a political party or leaders of different religious congregation, etc., or leaders of different movements. They are called elected leaders. And thirdly, trained leaders. These trained leaders they are wanting to become leaders. Therefore, they take part in seminars or webinars such as this, and also some workshop, or they self-train themselves, motivate themselves, or read books, etc. Through that, they train or form or fashion or shape themselves to be leaders. Therefore, they are called as trained leaders. This is the third category. Let's go to the fourth one, that is wishing to be leaders. There are still many, they want to become leaders. For example, a student in 3rd standard or a 10th standard or 12th standard, maybe he may be having some heroes or some models, and he or she may be wishing to become a leader like his role model or hero, etc. So they are on the way to become a future leader, or in short, we can call them as potential leaders. They have the potency to become future leaders. Now, Each one of us might belong to one category of these 4 groups. But what is more important is not to which category we belong, but what sort of leader we are, or what sort of leader we are going to be, or how we are going to function as a leader. That is very, very important. Now, one of the famous authors, namely J. Oswald Sanders, in his book, Spiritual Leadership, as you can see displayed on the screen, he says, emphasizing 3 important points. What is a leadership? Leadership is the ability to recognize the special abilities and limitations of others, combined with the capacity to fit each one into the job where he or she will do their best. So if I and you are good leaders, we should be able to identify the assets and liability of our teammates or group members, place them in a position where they can contribute to the maximum to the group they are functioning. For example, let us take a college. A college has maybe 30 to 40 professors. Besides their academic qualification, each one is gifted or endowed with a lot of potentialities, talents, skills, and to make the maximum use of them, then they must place them in different departments or give them different responsibilities where they can contribute to the maximum. Instead, if the management thinks that this person is talented and I know he or she is talented, but I will not give an opportunity, it means that particular management is wasting the human resource of that particular institute or a group or a team, etc. Therefore, a good leader identifies the assets, the positive points, and the liabilities, the limitations of each and every teammate or group member, and places them in a position wherein he or she can contribute to the maximum. So we cannot be leaders of things or lifeless objects, etc., such as building or a car or company or a factory. We can own a car, own a factory, own a building, own a home, own a school, etc. But we can only be leaders of people or persons, people who are working or functioning in that particular institute. So we are not leading things or lifeless objects, but we are leaders of people and persons. So a good leader always remembers that I am a leader of people. I am a leader of human beings. I am a leader of persons. Instead, if someone only takes pride in saying that I am the principal of this institute, I am the professor of this college, but he does not care about leading the persons who are involved in his service, then is going to be a failure as a leader. Now, in this connection, Andrew Carnegie, one of the famous writers, he says, "Take away my people, but leave my factories, and soon grass will grow on the factory floor. But take away my factories, but leave my people, and soon we will have new and better factory." So therefore, my dear participants, we need to remember that for being able and effective leaders, what we need is not structures. Of course, we need them. But more than that, what we need is the personalities, the people, the persons. And with people, we can always start a new factory, new plant, new firm, new school, new college, etc. Therefore, let people take away our building, our factory. But if we are with people, we can always start afresh and always start a better factory and better institute. We are all leaders of persons. So we need to recognize each and everyone in that group. And we need to learn or cultivate the art of working together, working as a team. There are some people who can work excellently as individuals, but place them in a group or in a team, they will be a failure, because right from the beginning, they have not cultivated the art of working in a team, working with persons, etc. We can sing a solo song. Yeah, beautiful, because you are gifted with that talent. But singing in a group is a talent. Where we need to play low, we need to. Where we need to encourage the other who is not a good singer, we need to do that. There, each one is recognized. Each one feels that I belong to this group, I belong to this team, and together we achieve something. So for a leader, this togetherness, this team spirit is very, very important. Now, once again, I'm quoting John C. Maxwell. He, in his book, Developing the Leader Within You, he says, we need to keep in mind 5 important points, 5 R's needed for a good leader. Let us list one by one and delineate them very, very briefly. So if you and I are good leaders, we need to possess at least some of these 5 R's in our life. The first R is respect. What is respect? Respect does not come from the position that we have, the attire, the dress that we wear, or the qualification that we have, or our cultural or family background, or the community to which we belong, etc. No. The respect comes from for what we are, what we represent. It comes from our representation. If you and I are representing good values, then we will command respect from others. Therefore, the first characteristic mark of a good leader is respect. People respect us for what we are. The second R is reproduction. People observe what we have done to the group members individually and whether we have allowed them to grow. So we need to be reproducers, or we need to help others to reproduce in a group. It is not enough that we achieve something as a group, but we need to also concentrate on each and every individual who can contribute to the growth of the group as well as to the achievement of that particular organization to which all the team members or the group members belong. Therefore, it is a second responsibility of the leader to pay attention to this R called reproduction. Thirdly, result. Yeah, you may have respect and reproduction, but what is more important is result. You belong to an organization or a firm, you will be evaluated by the success rate of your work. What you have contributed to the growth of the organization, maybe in your school or a polytechnic or a parish or a factory or a college or a firm, etc. So the success rate is very, very important to evaluate or appraise your leadership quality, your leadership skill, and how you have spearheaded the whole team towards the object that you have projected in front of you to reach that particular goal, etc. So results, very important. The fourth one is relationship. If the leader is going to concentrate only on respect and reproduction as well as on result and pay least attention to relationship, then he cannot be a committed leader. You can make your leadership responsibility a joyful one if you build up good and committed relationship. We need to enjoy a beautiful bond between each and every member of that group of the team. Then we can be a good group following the leadership of the team captain or leader than merely exercising our authority and power. Some people make the mistake of making use or even abuse of their authority and power and try to achieve excellent results with the authority and power. But in the long run, they will not produce their desired results. Maybe for a couple of times, they will be able to produce. But in the long run, they may end up as a failure. So committed relationship is very, very important for a good leader. The fifth R is rights. As a good leader, we have the responsibility to demand from others their duties. These are your duties and you are supposed to do this. You meet this deadline, you come and meet, etc. One can demand from his subjects or from the teammates, etc. But we need to speak about and underline the importance of the rights of persons. We need to, if the rights of the team members are fulfilled at the right time, at the right moment, then they will not hesitate at all to fulfill the duties that they are expected of or entrusted with. Then you will surely be a successful leader and a friendly leader. Therefore, let me highlight once again the 5 R's of a good leader: respect, reproduction, result, relationship, and rights. These 5 R's are very, very important according to the famous author John C. Maxwell. Let's go to the next point. It is said that great leaders inspire greatness in others. If I am a great leader, I should not be whole time demonstrating and proving to others, see, I am the great man. I am the leader who is spearheading this group, etc. That is not important. A great leader inspires greatness in others. We are not like a giant lighthouse which throws its beam to a long distance by standing alone. We are not lighthouses as leaders, standing alone. Remember my first quote, that is, goes the way. That is very important. We are supposed to accompany our teammates, our group members, and go along with them. Therefore, we are not supposed to function as lighthouse, but we are supposed to function as candles. We are like a candle. Every leader is like a candle which burns itself and shares its light by lighting the other candles we are. So a good leader is not a giant lighthouse throwing its big beam by standing alone in a distance, but is like a candle, burns itself and lighting others and dispels darkness. Let's go to the next point. Since I'm a priest and ardent follower of Jesus, I like to cite 2 analogies from the Bible, from Jesus' teaching. You remember, Jesus is considered as a CEO, one of the famous books, maybe most of you might have read, at least some of you, Jesus CEO, written by Laurie Beth Jones. Okay, so Jesus is a leader par excellence. From him, we can learn a lot of leadership qualities for our life, our human life. You need not be a Christian or a Catholic to learn from Jesus. Any human person trying to be or willing to become a leader can learn from Jesus. What are the 2 analogies for leadership? The first one is salt. You be the salt of the earth. The second one, you be the light of the world. So let us take one by one. There are reasons why Jesus chose these 2 elements called salt and light. Let us explain or discuss these 2 analogies. The first one, Jesus never told his disciples or the people who were listening to him, you be sugar of the earth, but he said salt of the earth. Why? Because as we all know, both are not the same. Salt and sugar are different in taste and different in components in their chemical elements as well as when they are added in a particular dish, their function is also different. Both of them get dissolved and lose their identity, but their work, their reproduction, their end result is completely different. Salt, it has got 3 important characteristics or traits. By delineating these 3, I will try to say that these 3 qualities can be imbibed by each and every leader who is trying to practice his leadership in an effective way. The first quality of salt is, its color is white, therefore it is pure, it is medicinal, it is healing. So every leader has to be pure and he needs to exercise this quality of being a healer. we are expected to uphold our own human values. And these human values have to be uncontaminated and uncompromised. As salt functions in the same way, wherever it is being used and whoever uses it in the same way, wherever we are as leaders, whichever group you and I are leading, we need to make sure that our human values are kept uncontaminated and uncompromised. And whenever our human values are not practiced and they are broken and counter values dominate them, etc., we need to function as people who can heal whatever is actually damaged and whatever is not functioning well. So this is the first quality that we can learn from the element called salt. The second quality of salt. Salt is preservative. When we use salt as a preservative, it is a food that is preserved, not the salt. Remember, salt is a preservative. Salt is not preserving itself by getting dissolved in a food, but it is a food that is preserved. Similarly, wherever we are, in our workplaces, etc., let us try to help others to preserve their good qualities. Let us try to promote the lives of others. When we are with others, the others should feel welcomed, accepted, acknowledged, affirmed, and appreciated. So our presence should enable others to exhibit their good qualities, and our presence should encourage others and their doings and the roles that they play. This is the preservative quality of any leader. As a leader, am I preserving the good qualities of my teammates or group members? Let us introspect. The third quality of salt, flavoring property. It brings out the flavor of the food. Here we are going to discuss about the distinction between sugar and salt, how there is a contrasting quality of these two elements. Now let us come to the question, why Jesus told us to be salt of the earth and not sugar of the earth? Because when sugar is added in a food in a right proportion, right amount, then when we taste that food, we say it is sweet. Why? Because here the sugar gives its quality and makes it dominant. Instead, when a salt is added in right proportion, it will bring out the flavor of every ingredient and makes the food tasty. Therefore, the difference between sugar and salt is this. Sugar makes its taste prominent and makes its quality dominant. Instead, salt makes its presence dormant and makes the taste of the other ingredients stand out and makes the food tasty and palatable. Like salt, we need to bring out the good qualities and talents of each and every member in our group. That would make the group shine well and perform well. That is a good quality of a leader. So do we have these three important qualities of salt? Let us check. Next, analogy is light of the world. Every leader is called to be light of the world. Light as goodness, virtue. Light as knowledge, vision. Light as life, vitality. So do I have as a leader these three characteristics? Virtue, vision, vitality, or goodness, knowledge, and life. Let's come to the first one. Light as goodness or virtue. As we all know, light is opposite to darkness. When there is light, darkness cannot exist. Light provides us the atmosphere, context, and situation to be good. It makes us to be transparent because whenever there is light, we cannot hide anything. When someone is open, transparent, there is less possibility for committing mistake or doing evil acts. Similarly, let us be light in the group where we work so that it brings out or sheds its light on the goodness of others and that of our own. So the first quality is light as goodness. Bring out our goodness as well as the goodness of our members of the team in which we are working. The second quality of light. Light as knowledge or vision. However good our eyesight is, if there is no light, we cannot see. Our body needs light to function. In our process of knowledge, eyes play a vital role, and without light, we cannot obtain knowledge. Hence, light functions as an important tool to acquire knowledge. By being light to others' life, we enable them to see things as they are and comprehend them. So in our team, we are supposed to function as light, which dispels darkness and shows us things from which we can acquire or obtain knowledge, vision. Third quality, light as vitality. When there is absence of light, we do not move, we stand still. Let us take, we are caught up in a dark room. There is no electricity, no light, etc. So we don't move normally, because if we begin to move, we may dash against something and that might hurt us. Therefore, we stand still. When there is no movement, there is no life. When there is no life, there is no action and production, growth, etc. But when there is light, there is movement. When there is movement, there is life. When there is life, there is action. When there is action, there is production. When there is production, there is growth. And when there is growth, then that organization actually will shine well. Therefore, when we are a light to a group or a class or a team, etc., we enliven people, we vitalize others, we promote life. Therefore, let us be light wherever we are, and we will promote life. With this, what to say, the second analogy, light, comes to an end. Now, we come to the, I have two parts of my session, this presentation. We are coming to the close of the first part, that is at random thinking about leadership and various characteristics, etc. Once again, I am quoting John C. Maxwell, basing on his book, Winning with People. Before all of us die, I recommend that we read this book at least once, Winning with People. I am very sure if you are going to read this book, begin reading this book, you will fall in love with these people. And now I told that in our leadership, accompaniment is very, very important. And if we want to enjoy this accompaniment, then we need to put the people at ease in our presence as a leader. For that, we need to practice 7 qualities. Let us check at least whether you and I have some of these qualities. The first one, personal warmth. The second one, appreciation of the difference in people. Thirdly, consistency of mood. Fourthly, sensitivity toward people's feeling. Fifthly, understanding human weakness and exposure of their own. Sixthly, ability to forgive easily and quickly and ask forgiveness. And seventhly, authenticity. Now, let us briefly see all these 7 qualities. The first one, personal warmth and liking people truly. Christian Bove, he says, kindness is a language which dumb can speak, the deaf can hear and understand. Therefore, we need to generate personal warmth toward people we meet. Even if you do not have warmth, we need to generate. Because as leaders, we need to be people of warm heart. Warm-heartedness is very, very important to be leader of people. Secondly, appreciate the difference in people. We need to avoid the tendency to look down on people who do not have our strength. It is very easy to appreciate others by saying that I am also a good singer, you are also a good singer. I'm a good orator and you are also a good orator, etc. But a good leader will be able to see the different strength in the other and has the magnanimity and the generosity to appreciate that. Appreciate people for who they are and what they have to offer. We have to handle our weakness to see how people can complement and help each other. Appreciating the difference of others can do the same for you. Therefore, appreciate the difference in people as an effective leader. Thirdly, consistency of mood. No, people should not, before coming to our office or room, people should not think in what mood he is. Is he in angry mood or in some other mood, etc. One of the bad characteristics of a good leader is, mood swinging. If we have mood swinging, then we are not approachable people. Approachable people will enjoy and entertain consistency of mood. These people are called as predictable people, people of predictable character. If we entertain mood swinging, then we are unpredictable people, we have unpredictable character. So basically, we need to be the same every time others see us. Fourthly, sensitivity towards people's feeling. Just because we are emotionally steady as leaders, we cannot expect every member of our group to be emotionally steady, because each one has his or her own family problem, background, difficulties, etc. Everyone carries their own load of different hurt feelings and emotions, etc. Therefore, in a group, if there are 10 people demonstrate different types of feelings. We need to accept them, we need to understand them, and as the captain of a sailboat, we need to test the wind and adjust the sails according to the current condition. So get to know the feelings of each and every one, be sensitive to their feelings, and accordingly lead the group. The fifth one, understanding one's weakness and expose the same. That is, as a leader, I need to understand my human weakness and expose the same to others. I know my weakness, I accept it, but I fail to expose this in front of others. I fail to acknowledge that in front of others. It means I am not a good leader. Approachable people are honest about their abilities as well as liabilities or shortcomings. Express about your limitations now and then to others. A Chinese proverb goes like this: blessed are those who laugh at themselves, they shall never cease to be amused. If I am actually ridiculing or laughing at one of my limitations, then I have accepted that. Then when others are fooling about or pulling my leg on behalf of this particular limitation, I will also laugh with them. Otherwise, I will get hurt. Therefore, let us accept our limitation, laugh at it, and allow others also to know our limitation. When you admit your fault, it will be easy for you to allow others to have their faults. Sixthly, ability to forgive easily and quickly and ask forgiveness. We need to have the humility to understand our weakness and have the willingness to reveal our weakness. This humility will enable us to ask forgiveness easily and to grant it to others. Therefore, a good leader, he knows that he or she also will make mistakes. In the same way, the team members also liable and vulnerable to make mistakes. Therefore, allow them to make mistake and forgive them easily, and whenever it is needed, ask forgiveness of others. And seventhly, authenticity, which is a very, very important quality of a leader. Good leaders are real. They are who they are. They don't pretend to be someone they are not. They say what they mean, and they mean what they say. So only when you are secure with you can be genuine. They are at ease with themselves and put others also at ease. Therefore, I conclude the first part of the session, that is random reflections on leadership. Therefore, based on John C. Maxwell's book, Winning with People, let us try to have an introspection, appraisal of ourselves, whether we have all these 7 qualities or at least some of them. Now, we'll proceed to the next part, that is, being a leader implies 6 abilities. We need to keep in mind these 6 A's or 6 abilities will create us as meaningful leaders, accompanying our teammates. As you see in this slide, revealing, listening, and understanding. each and every team member is constantly revealing one part of the other of himself or herself, and as leader, we need to constantly listen. And there should be a fusion of horizon between this revelation and listening. And this fusion, as it is increasing, then the widening of understanding will take place, and we can become a meaningful and effective leader for that group. Now, let us see what are these 6 A's of an effective leader. The first, availability. The second A, approachability. The third one, amiability. Fourth one, adjustability. Fifth, adaptability. And sixth, accountability. Let's take the first one, availability. We all know the meaning of the term availability. If you go to a grocery shop or a vegetable shop, you ask, do you have tomatoes? And they say, yes, we have. It means tomatoes are available in that shop. Therefore, we know what it means to be available. Let me delineate this point with a quotation of Voltaire, a French philosopher. Voltaire actually created a quote just slightly different than this. I have adapted this. Voltaire said, religious come together without knowing each other. They live together without loving each other. They depart without mourning each other. For us, in the context of leadership, I like to change in this way. A team comes together without knowing each other, works together without loving each other, and departs without mourning each other or mourning for each other, etc. Is it true of our team that we are there, but we don't make effort to get to know each other, or we work together, but we don't sincerely love each other? And when we depart from that group, that's all. No more relationship. We don't even feel the pain of departing, and we don't miss each other at all. Now, I need not explain the term availability. I have told it is just being there. But it is not just a passive presence of being somewhere, but it is very, very active presence. That is active, to share, to care, to bear, to listen, to console, and to be with. So as the leader, I need to share, I need to care, I need to bear wherever and whenever it is needed, listen to console, and also to accompany. And we know, I have already explained to you, if you are going to be available to your teammates, are you going to be available like a salt or like sugar? The choice is yours as a leader. Now, the second point is approachability. Approachability, I have purposely chosen this image. Pope Francis, he is a Pope of the people. Anyone can easily approach this particular Pope. And he also makes an effort to approach other people. That's why I have chosen this image. Some people may be available, but they are not approachable. Approachability is nothing but the sister of availability. Why do I call sister of availability? Because only a person who is available can be approachable. For example, a principal, in order to be an approachable person, he or she needs to be available in the office. So the first and foremost requisite for approachability is being available. Am I available to my teammates or group mates? That which is not available cannot be approachable. So approachable people are very, very simple, like that of our Pope. Let us take Jesus. Was he available and approachable? Yes, Jesus was available. He was available to very many people. Approachable to the children, approachable to women, approachable to Samaritans, approachable to lepers, approachable to all sick people, approachable to Roman leaders, approachable to Jewish leaders, scribes, Pharisees, whoever it is. He was available and he was approachable. Now, the way we present ourselves, each one, let us reflect. The way we conduct ourselves, our sensitivity, our conversation, our offices, our sturdy gates, the giant compounds, our look, our smile, all these things, our language, are they inviting or are they threatening? The best quality of a leader is being approachable. And our approachability is demonstrated in all these qualities. The way we conduct ourselves, our sensitivity, our language, the words that we choose, and the look and smile, etc. Martin Luther King Jr. once said, either we live like friends or die like fools. So when we are approachable to others, we are living like friends. Albert Einstein, he once said, somebody asked him a question. Einstein, why God has placed us on this earth? And Albert Einstein very coolly said, exactly, I do not know why God has placed us on this earth. But I think we are made for each other. That's why we are here on earth. So if you and I are made for each other, then we need to be approachable to others. I like to narrate a small story, a fictional story. Some of us might know this story. It's a story of creation. God began to create. First, he created all the animals. So he first created donkey, and he told the donkey, I am giving you the lifespan of 50 years. And the donkey said, no, I don't want. 25 years would suffice. And then the monkey, for you 25 years of lifespan. Monkey said, no, 10 years would be enough. Then the dog, 20 years. The dog said, no, 10 years would do. Then he created a human being, and he said, you will live, your lifespan is 20 years. And you are shocked. Lord, only 20 years. Okay, I accept 20 years, but give me also the years left over by the donkey and the monkey and the dog. It means he is getting almost 70 years. That's why sometimes you and I, we behave like donkeys and monkeys and dogs. These animal qualities are also displayed or demonstrated in our day-to-day dealing. So if you and I want to be an effective leader, we need to practice this quality called approachability and the sister quality called availability. The third ability is amiability. Am I an amiable person? Once a Sardaji, he was loving a girl and they were dating for a couple of years. They were deeply in love with each other. And after 4 or 5 years of dating and loving each other, the girl said, I think it's the right time to get married because we have been dating for quite some time. And the Sardaji said, no way, I cannot marry you. I can only love you, but I cannot marry. The girl got shock of her life. And she asked, why? How come you don't want to marry me? And the Sardaji said, we have a tradition and culture in our family. We marry only our relatives, okay? We don't marry strangers. My father married my mother. My sister-in-law married my brother. My uncle married my auntie, etc. So we don't marry strangers. Let's come to the third point, amiability. Amiability is nothing but being friendly with one another. It refers to being friendly, loving, and caring to one another. If your students are asked to give some names of loving professors or teachers, will your name appear on the list? Or if your colleagues are asked to cite some loving or amiable colleagues, will your name be listed in that? Of course, we need to remember one important point called boundary violation. In any leadership, any professional leadership, we need to maintain the professional boundary and the personal boundary. They should not fuse or mingle together, because when professional boundary and personal boundaries are mingling with each other, then as a professional person, you will not be able to demand from your own colleagues or your own subjects, etc. While maintaining the line between the professional and personal, we need to also love people, be affable and loving towards others. Wherever we are, we need to spread the seeds of love, then only we will be able to be effective leaders. Mother Teresa once said, of all the longings, the longing for love is the most painful. And John Aurelio, he said, if you want your prayers to be more efficacious, do not perfect your prayer, but perfect your love. Next, St. Augustine, he gives a beautiful example of love. When we hear the word love, we should not understand it in a negative way or in a pejorative way, etc. Love is nothing but wishing the good of the other. If you are loving your teammates or group mates, then you should be able to wish the good of the other. That is what loving your members or colleagues or subjects mean. St. John Bosco, the father and founder of the congregation to which I belong, whose image you see at the back, he said, It is not enough to love youngsters, but make them feel that they are loved. So as a leader, you tell your teammates, I love you, but the teammates never felt your love. It means you are not loving them in such a way that they feel your love. Remember, human beings are so fragile, so we need to handle them with care. Jesus is the best example of love. God so loved the world that he came down to us, lived amidst us, and he exhibited the zenith of love by offering himself to be crucified. Because there can be no greater love than to lay down one's life for his friends, Jesus himself said. So in a mental asylum, once a mental patient cut the head of the other mental patient. The doctor came and asked him, why have you cut his head? And this mental patient he said, no, just for fun alone. Tomorrow morning he will search for his head and I will give it back. Sometimes you and I are like this. We are insensitive to the love longings of our own teammates, and you don't even consider to give a bit of love to them. What are we going to lose by loving them, by giving them a bit of love to our teammates? All the chemistry teachers and professors, you know that sodium and chlorine, NaCl, when they are separated, they are poisonous. But when they come together, they become salt. In the same way, in a team, if you are independently working, we will be poisoning the group. When they come together, when there is a bond created, then we will be palatable, delicious salt. And I like to quote one more, narrate story. A short story of a monkey and a fish. A monkey was actually living in a branch of a tree, and he was very happy jumping from one branch to the other, enjoying the fruits of the tree, etc. But it was always feeling sad about the fish which was in the river, because the tree was at the bank of the river. And one day the monkey thought, okay, I will help this fish. And suddenly it was staring at the fish and caught hold of the fish and put it on the bank, on the shore. And the fish was actually, gasping for breath, and it was, wriggling and jumping, etc. And the monkey clapped hands and said, monkey, you have done a great job. See how it is dancing. It is very happy having come over to the shore. And after some time, it was gasping for breath and it died. The monkey once again clapped hands and said, monkey, you have done a great job. It has got a good death. Otherwise, it should have been swept away by the river, and it could not have had a burial, etc. Now I can give a good burial to this fish. Sometimes you and I, as leaders, we are like this. Loving is not doing what we like to do to the members, but knowing what they need exactly. Look at them from their point of view, know their needs, and you love them. Goethe, he says, we are shaped and formed and fashioned by what we love. If we love our group, we will be formed by our group, and our group also in turn will be formed by our love. Khalil Gibran, he says, he's one of the 19th century Lebanese American poet, artist, and writer. He said, between what is said and not meant, and what is meant and not said, most of love is lost. Therefore, if you have love in your heart, express to your teammates. Okay, sonnaldan kadala, sonnaldan kadal, sollada kadal, selladu. Anyway, nammidam irukkum anbai, let us share with our students, to our teammates, group members, and with our colleagues. This is the third ability. The fourth ability is adjustability. How to understand adjustability? Making change in me as a leader. I am placed as a leader of a new group, new institution, or in a new position. So I need to see how I have to change. What are the qualities I need to create in me and change myself to become an effective leader? So adjustability is not equal to compromising. Compromising is something that is opposite to conviction. Having no stance, saying yes to this, saying yes to that, like a cat on the wall mentality. But this particular quality of adjustability is trying to tell us, when you are in Rome, be a Roman. You cannot function as a school teacher in a college. When you are in a college, function as a college professor. So what are the changes that you need to undergo to function as a college professor? You need to know imbibe, and then demonstrate. Adjusting is nothing but allowing yourself to suit to the particular situation. Oxford Dictionary says adjust means to become or to make somebody or something suited to new conditions. Do we make adjustments within ourselves so we could become more committed to others and also could exercise our commitment? We can see from the life of Jesus. Jesus adjusted actually, in so many ways. For example, Philippians chapter 2:6 says, though he was in the form of God, he came down, emptied himself, and became one among us, but of course without committing sin. Jesus' transformation, we can call in secular term, it's a kind of adjustment. Then Jesus and Zacchaeus, Jesus, he went into Zacchaeus' house and dined with him. So we need to adjust ourselves wherever we are and in whatever way we need to adjust ourselves in order to become effective leaders. Then, next ability is adaptability. What is adaptability? How to distinguish that? That is, to make change in others, in the context, and in the situation. That is, making something or somebody suitable to a new use. So the previous quality that we have seen is actually adjustability. I make change in me, within me. But this one is making change in others, wherever we are. Sorry, 1 minute. When I am in a new college or in a new school or in a new situation, I need to change that particular situation through my qualification, through my talents, through my efforts, etc. I need to bring about a change in that situation. I am the new principal. I cannot be functioning as the old principal has functioned. I need to bring in new changes because I'm a new person. I have new qualities, I have my uniqueness and my personality, etc. I need to make use of that and function accordingly. Sometimes it is good that we take courage to adapt things according to the signs of the times. We all know this famous author, Shiv Khera. He says, winners don't do different things, but they do things differently. So, indications, friendly corrections, growth of the institute, responding to the needs and signs of the times are very, very important for an effective leader. We need to adapt. Are we stiff people or flexible people? Do we like to be strong or like to bring in new sproutings wherever we are placed? One of our, administrators, when we were in a novitiate, used to say, how to maintain toilets. Leave it better than you found it. When you go to a washroom, a water closet or a toilet, how to maintain a toilet? When you go out of the toilet or washroom after use, leave it better than you found it when you entered it. So too your group. You are going to your group, if you are going to leave that group after exercising your leadership, leave that group better than you found it as it was entrusted to you. Leave it in a better way. Jesus did that. No, Jesus was actually washing the feet of his disciples. When woman caught in adultery, he did not consider her as she was considered by the previous leaders, etc. In the same way, walking to Emmaus, he created a change in the hearts and minds of the disciples who were walking with him. How about us? Do we make a real change, and adapt the situation in which we are placed as leaders? Here I'm going to give you an analogy of a chair and iron box. To make a chair, we need a carpenter. But for the chair to continue to exist after being made, we do not need a carpenter. On the contrary, to heat the iron box, we need electricity. To continue to iron our clothes, we need to retain the heat of the iron box. So we need a continuous flow of electricity. So to make the iron red hot, to make the iron red hot, fire is needed. To continue to keep it hot, we need constant fire. In the same way, we need to constantly make changes in our situations, in our colleagues, in our groups, if we want to exercise effective leadership. Whenever we go to a new place, meet a new group, let us not be like people who maintain the status quo, but let us leave our imprints. Let us leave some indelible marks in the group in which we are working. According to Hans Finzel, one of the successful authors, he says, one of the top 10 mistakes which leaders make is creating success without creating successes. Some of us are very good and efficient in creating successes, but we don't create successes. But if you are a good leader, you need to create also successes. When some people leave the place, they make it a failure. They say that as long as I was there, the school was producing good results. But once I left the school is not doing well. It means it is not the failure of the current principal or current staff members. It is a failure of you, because you have not created good successes who can continue from where you have left that particular school. So we need to adapt our situation and our subjects or colleagues in a way that things should go on even in our absence, without ourselves, with our successes. If I die today, will people be able to continue the work that I am interested with without much difficulty? That is a question that we need to ask. There is a story of a father and son crossing a bridge like this. As they were crossing this bridge, the father said, "My little Johnny, take hold of my finger and hold it firm, tightly, so that you don't fall inside these blocks and get drowned." And that particular little boy would say, "Papa, I have a suggestion. Instead of I holding your finger, my grip is also not that strong. If you hold my hand, the grip will be strong." So according to the situation, we need to change our principles and change that situation and bring out effective leadership in the place we are working. And the last one, the last ability is accountability. Am I accountable? Today, many leaders are losing their credibility. It is because their lack of accountability. What is accountability? Accountability is required or expected to give an explanation to one's action or for one's actions. We are accountable to ourselves, to our families, to our students, to our institutes, to God. Accountability is easier for those people who are transparent. Today, transparency has become an outdated virtue. Sometimes the transparent people are considered simpletons or scapegoats, etc. So and so seemed to be very happy and contented in his or her work, but suddenly she quit. Not even a single sign was given, but suddenly she left the school or company or college. Why? Because perhaps there was no transparency in her dealings, in her accounts, in her problems, in her work, in her crises, etc. So if we want to be effective leaders, we need to be accountable. We need to exercise accountability in all that we do, in our accounts, in our problems, in our work, in our dealings with others, and whenever we also face crises. Jesus proved that he is accountable. Do we feel responsible for all the things entrusted to us? Do we make proper and timely evaluation and correct and mend the same? Do we own up the blunders and mistakes that we commit? No, there was two deaf men met on the street. Both of them cannot hear. The first one asked the second one, "Hey Kumar, are you going to the church?" And the second one said, No, I am going to the church." Then the first one said, "Oh, I thought you are going to the church." Sometimes we are also conversing with one another or leading groups like this, what we communicate does not reach the other. And what the group is trying to communicate to us, it also does not reach us. Why? Because there is lack of transparency. There is lack of accountability. If you and I are transparent, then we can be effective leaders of our group or our team, etc. In this regard, we need to remember the following sayings or following quotes. The first one, transparency is very much connected with authenticity or what to say, honesty. So it is said that honesty is an expensive gift. So we should not expect it from cheap people. If you are a good leader, expensive leader, then you will be automatically honest, transparent, and accountable. And the second saying, the truth may hurt for a little while, but lie will hurt forever. As accountable people, transparent people, we need to be truthful. It will hurt us at times, but it will give us, what to say, good credibility. Thirdly, someone has said like this, do not console me with lies, but hurt me with truth. There are some people in our team who will be constantly bombarding us with lies, sweet lies, but that may be temporarily consoling us and soothing us. But in the long run, it is of no use. The next one, truth hurts, but it does not kill. At the same time, lie may please, but it does not heal. So if you tell the truth, you don't need to remember anything. Only those people who fabricate truth or fabricate lies, they need to remember everything, because to whom I said this, to whom I said that, we need to remember. But if you always speak truth, you are a genuine person, truthful person, and you need not remember anything. You can say the truth to anybody at any time, even after days, weeks, and months, and years, etc. At the end, before concluding, I like to quote this, BOD and EOD. BOD and EOD. BOD is referring to beginning of the day, and EOD is referring to end of the day. As a good and effective leader, the first thought that I'm waking up with is very important, the positive thought. I need to start the day with a positive thought, that is BOD. So my BOD is good today, therefore my EOD, my end of the day also will be good. Having an introspection of the whole day at the end of the day, okay, I am making a mental journal of the same. And when we prepare for the next day with the right BOD, our choices will be clear and well thought out. It is said that a good EOD is the best investment for the best BOD the next day. If I have started a day well, if I have begun the day well with a good BOD, I will have a good EOD. And when I have a good EOD, then I'm having a best investment for the next BOD. Let me conclude with a quote of John C. Maxwell. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So if you and I want to be effective leaders, let us care people. Of course, we need to have knowledge, but when we care others, the effect will be really terrific. So once again, thank you for this wonderful opportunity, and I hope that you have benefited at least a bit from this session of mine. Thank you.
So thank you, Father. Are you able to see the question answer session? There will be very small questions. If you possible, you can have another 5 minutes before we end up the session, Father.
Okay. Question answer, I'm not able to open it.
Okay, then I will do it. I can read the questions.
Okay.
The first one is, why it is difficult to be an effective leader?
Why it is difficult?
Yeah.
I would give a simple answer. There could be many reasons. One reason is that we don't take into consideration the suggestions of others in the team. we try to abuse our power and position and authority, so that may fail us to become an effective leader. There could be many reasons. One prominent reason I think of is this.
Okay. And another one, the two questions that have the same reflection. Would you please mention some of a few general challenges that are faced by the leader, and the same, how well one can tackle them in a right way without annoying or suppressing them? This was posted by Ajay Amalraj, and Mr. Ajay Kumar also, that posting the same question.
Could you please once again repeat the question?
Would
Sorry.
you please mention some of a few general challenges that are faced by the leader, and the same, how well one can tackle them in a right way without annoying or suppressing them?
Yeah. Okay, it's a beautiful question. Thank you for this wonderful question. See, today there are many challenges. One challenge is I feel everyone thinks that I know everything, because we are in a time of social media. Everyone is connected to every source of information, so I know it. The I know mentality is there in most of the group, and with most of the members and teammates, etc. So when I know everything, why I need to be guided by somebody else? Who are you? Okay, I am also with the same qualification. I am also working in the same school. Therefore, I need not be led by you. This is one of the important challenges of this. And for this, I think that 6 abilities, this amiability, at the end of the day, what matters is what kind of relationship that you entertain with your teammates. So when you have a good relationship, you will be able to tell things straightly to your teammates, and they will be able to understand and act according to your direction. When there is a strain in relationship, then whatever you say, that is no, even the good points that you are trying to tell him, that will not be listened to.
Okay, for one more last question. The brightness of the candle and the brightness of the lighthouse is merely caused by its production, but both spread the light. So this is the quotation that they have given. I think that why this difference? In that way, they are asking the question, it seems.
Yeah, okay, I understand. It's a good question. See, we are not actually, downplaying the role of the lighthouse, okay? And we are not actually elevating the role of the candle. No. Independently, the lighthouse also produces light. It's a big beam, far, far brighter than a candle. And a candle is also producing light, but it is comparatively, tiny, smaller, etc. But we are talking about light in the context of leadership. In the context of leadership, we are not supposed to be giant lighthouse standing alone and maintaining a distance and throwing a big beam of light. In the context of leadership, we are supposed to be a candle. Give light. You first of all be a light to yourself and light others. So this distinction is meaningful only in the context of trying to become effective leaders. We are not downplaying the role of one and elevating the quality of the other. Yes.
Okay. Can leader achieve desired results with all love and other emotions and feelings? I believe that it should be come with only one. That is, can leader can achieve only, that leader can achieve desired results only with the help of, with the love and the emotions or the feelings.
No, certainly not. It's a nice question, actually. Anybody can be misled with some of the abilities that I have presented. See, in between, I made a distinction between the boundary violation. If you have listened to professional boundary and personal boundary. Too much of personal boundary merging with a professional boundary will actually spoil the end result. Okay, we need to maintain our professional boundary as a leader, as a principal, as a teacher, as a parish priest, or as a manager, etc. When our professional boundary is very clear, it will be easy for us to get the end result. But at the same time, if you are only going to be very, very professional, there is no even little bit of human element, bit of emotion, bit of love, then that is going to be very, very dry. Because after all, we are not going to, as leaders, we are not going to deal with lifeless objects. We are dealing with people, as I have said in the beginning. Therefore, love alone will not suffice, but love is also needed. Yes?
Father, the last question.
Yeah.
Is it right to maintain the consistent mood when something goes wrong? Even Christ got angry.
Yes. The question is over?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Mood is different from emotions. Okay. For example, we have a particular emotion, but this particular emotion is exhibited to different people in a different way. For example, I exhibit my anger in one way to my father, another way to my mother, another way to my wife, another way to my child, another way to my boss, another way to my student, another way to my colleague. Okay, emotions come and go, but mood is something different. That is something which is very much part of your demeanor or your character or your way of behaving. For example, let us see mood, how to understand. For example, one fellow in the morning is very much tensed. In the afternoon, after eating, he is very much satisfied and is very happy. And in the evening is very, very dull. And in the morning, if anybody goes, he will be like, in Tamil, what you say, but in the afternoon, he is very, very happy. This is called as mood. So within the day itself, you have swinging of mood, like Woonjal. You go this extreme and that extreme, and you become unpredictable. If you are an unpredictable character, then people will not be able to approach you. They hesitate. They will start rehearsing their, questions and their conversations and dialogues and come to you. People will tend to act in front of you, pretend in front of you. Therefore, there you fail as a leader. All of us have emotions, but our emotions should not make our mood unstable and swing. We are human beings. We can go beyond our emotions. That is the distinction between we and animals. I can still have anger, but I can exercise my diplomacy. That is my answer.
So thank you, Father. Because of the time, we are reaching the end of the session. So can we wind up, Father?
Yes, please.
Now I take up the host from you.
Leadership is unlocking people's potential to become better. Good evening. It's my privilege to propose the vote of thanks to everyone on this special day. The essence of great leadership is influence, not authority. We have such a great leader as our college chairman, Most Reverend Dr. Arnald, Bishop of Kota, who always acknowledged our hard work by his encouraging words. Thank you, Bishop. Inspire others to dream more, learn more, and do more. Yes, our college secretary, Reverend Father Arjun Charles, keeps on motivating us to undertake challenging tasks for the betterment of our institution. Thank you, Father. Leaders become great not because of their power, but because of their ability to empower others. Today, we are really fortunate to have Rev. Dr. Arnald Mahesh, former principal and Jnanodaya Salesian College, Yerkad, as a resource person. Father, your beautiful and wise words and the way you explained about leadership on explaining 5 R's and 6 A's of leadership certainly will help us reframe our thoughts, change our attitude, set the right mindset, and tackle the obstacles lie ahead. Really, we feel refreshed and motivated by your inspiring words. Thank you, Father. Leadership is taking responsibility while others are making excuses. My sincere thanks goes to the organizing team of this webinar. They have taken very strong and good efforts to arrange this webinar during this lockdown period. So let me congratulate and thank Dr. Vel Murugan Dr. Xavier Prince, Dr. Anthony Gracious, Mrs. Betsy Silvey Mary, Mrs. Josephine Kebin, Mrs. Suji, and Mrs. Kalai. And I thank all the other staff for their cooperation and support. I am very much impressed by the involvement of exceptionally supportive participants on this webinar day. I thank you all wholeheartedly and wish you all for you to become effective leaders of tomorrow by acquiring the qualities said by Father. Above all, I praise and thank Lord Almighty